Welcome to meditation in this, I think it's the week before Lent, but it's the end of February already. And just going to continue with we mentioned mystics last week and the idea of an open heart and opening our hearts, avoiding a closed heart. And I'm picking on Mechthild of Magdeburg from the 13th century, a German mystic, who talks about the connection between transforming one's own heart and loving others. She says, you should so transform your heart in God's holy love that you love each and every brother or sister entrusted to you in all their needs. Community leaders should arrange for basic comforts of others, should console the sick every day while being generous with material gifts. They should clean them, make them laugh, and carry away their waste. Then, she says, God's sweetness shall flow wonderfully into you. So very much a connection between divine transformation, inner change, and outward action. So with that setting of the scene, welcome to this time, this moment. Bring our attention, bring our focus in this moment with the joy of your breath. Adjusting your position, feeling that contact, feeling that connection. Closing the eyes or lowering the gaze or using the image, which is some more words from Mechthild, the flowing light of the Godhead. And I think the image there is of two hearts, God's heart and our heart, connected. So let us connect with the infinite love of the universe. And as you bring that focus, that attention to the breath, think of it being part of something wider and more infinite. So gently deepen the breath and extend the breath. As always, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's focus in on the out breath and using that to let go, leaving behind, even for these 30 minutes, any preoccupations in the mind. Any that we have will still be there to pick up later. If we can use this time, use this breath to let those float away. And also noticing any points of tension in the body. Breathing into those, and then as we breathe out, allowing them to relax. And now we add a little bit of rhythm to the breath, counting to 4 on the in-breath, holding for 2, and then 5 on the out breath to really empty the lungs. Imagine now we're breathing in. We're actively breathing in a sense of calm, a sense of peace. The reality of God's calm and God's peace, and letting go our own created anxieties and preoccupations. It's the calmness, the peace of God that is the ultimate reality. Our thoughts are just that, only thoughts. So continuing to breathe slowly and deeply, sensing calm, sensing peace. Some more thoughts from Mechthild. He talks of Lady Love planting a seed of compassionate action. Lofty words, she says, without compassion are useless. Love of God that rages against human beings is without value. The day of my spiritual awakening, she wrote, was the day I saw and knew I saw all things in God and God in all things. Really recognizing divine beauty. Everything being sacred. And even St. Paul wrote, humanity is God's language of love. You are God's love letters, written not with ink, but with the love called the Holy Spirit, not on tablets of stone, but across the pages of your human heart. And some verse from Mechthild. I cannot dance, Lord, unless you lead me. If you want me to leap with abandon, you must intone the song. Then I shall leap into love, from love into knowledge, from knowledge into enjoyment, and from enjoyment beyond all human sensations. There I want to remain, yet want also to circle higher still. So a moment perhaps to ponder on those images, asking the divine to intone the song. Then I shall leap into love, into knowledge, into enjoyment, and from there beyond all human sensations. that depth of mystical experience, perhaps, is not divorced from day-to-day care for others. Mechthild and her fellow Beguines, that's not a religious order. They chose to live in cities among poor and working class people, serving the least of these. The radical compassion she envisaged as the heart of practical action didn't arise out of a sense of obligation or duty. It is a heart sense that makes it unbearable to be indifferent to another's needs or to think of anyone as below oneself. And she has some very practical advice. A threefold practice to support such compassion. Firstly, detachment, which participates in the transcendent mystery of the Godhead, which I think we could pick up in those the lines of that verse. Secondly, then, compassion, which participates in the humanity of Christ. And thirdly, desire to care for human need, which participates in the Holy Spirit. And she goes on to recommend that one dedicate an hour or so a day to undisturbed prayer. And although we may struggle to do that, maybe even struggle with 15 or 20 minutes, without it, compassionate care can become exhausting rather than grace-filled and sweet. Wisely, she says, we are better able to convey love and compassion when we are grounded in the experience of being loved ourselves. And a final line to perhaps contemplate as we go to our longer silence. Describing the soul's relationship with God, she marvels at the powerful penetration of all things and the special intimacy which ever exists between God and each individual soul. That's taken from the flowing light of the Godhead, the cover of which is on the screen. That paradox. God is everywhere and surely therefore impersonal. And yet, in relation to the individual soul, God is entirely intimate and surely therefore personal. Such paradoxes, of course, we cannot resolve. Maybe we just accept and give thanks. So we move to our longer period of silence. Some music from Salt of the Sound. Overflow. So we may want to contemplate opening our heart. We may want to practice detachment from our thoughts, allowing them to settle and drift away. Or marvel at the paradox of God everywhere and yet God intimate with us. Salt of the Sound sing, beyond these walls is where my heart lies. As I walk, help me to overflow in love, for love.
Beyond these walls, where my
Tear down these walls we built with our lives, that I would walk, that I would overflow to be loved. That I would overflow to be loved and to love. And Mechthild writes, lie down in the fire, see and taste the flowing Godhead through your being. Feel the Holy Spirit moving and compelling you within, the flowing fire and light of God.